Often in life, you will find yourself at a crossroads, sometimes even at a literal crossroad while driving. As you are about to cross over to the other side, you see another car coming at a distance from your left. If you don't speed up, you'd have to wait for the car to cross first. Would you speed up? Perhaps you successfully do so and get to your destination a few seconds earlier. Or worse, if the other driver isn't particularly a Taoist and has a competitive spirit, you may get into an accident. What if you had let the car go before you? What if you had not tried to be ahead of this stranger? Indeed, things would have gone back to the way they were, just as nature had intended. This is the idea behind the philosophy of flow, or Taoism. The motive or desire to get ahead of the other driver made you act and put in unnecessary effort for results that were relatively unrewarding. Similarly, we often exert ourselves to reach goals dictated by ambition and superficial definitions of success, rather than by nature. Studying hard to be a doctor to impress your neighbours? Working out for a body that will get you 1,000 Instagram likes? Laozi would say you are trying too hard and frittering away energy that you could spend on meaningful self-improvement. Who was Laozi? Laozi, the founder of Taoism, was believed to have walked the streets of ancient China in the 6th century BC. He introduced his thought-provoking ideas about the unity of the universe in his classic book, the Tao Te Ching. His ideas were very different from those of Confucius, who believed in structure and rigidity. Where Confucianism taught hard work, adhering to social norms, and striving to be the best, Laozi's teachings were focused on not trying and being yourself. The modern world is quite similar to the one in which Laozi grew up, where overworking is glorified and having material wealth or driving a sports car is equated to success. In this hustle culture, practicing the art of not trying may be as revolutionary as it was in ancient China. In fact, Laozi's teachings are still so relevant that he was named one of the top 10 authors in the world by the New York Times. How to practice Taoism. Number 1. Follow your heart. Some people often confuse not trying with living a sedentary life, but that is far from the truth. When Taoism beckons people not to put in any effort, it does not mean you should drop out of college or quit your job to become a hermit. Instead, it asks you to follow what you love, and happiness and productivity will follow you. Here's a little story about Laozi, who was walking around with one of his young students when they met a chess master. Are you good at painting, poetry, and singing? I'm sorry, I only know how to play chess. I'm good at painting, poetry, and singing. Which one are you best at? I'm not sure. Actually, I have a little bit of knowledge in all of them. But he is respected all over the land for being the best at chess. Are you respected for your superficial knowledge? Here you can see how the young student pretends to be wise in all things, when all he really knows is the rigorous Confucius-based curriculum they taught at school. Laozi went against the Confucianist idea that a successful person is learned in various subjects and constantly working on adding another feather to their cap to become a respected member of society. On the contrary, he believed that education should be rid of vanity and one must only follow the path that inspires them. Number 2. Move your body. Bruce Lee, one of the most famous martial artists in the world, once said, "Be like water." Another great martial artist, Master Oogway, aka the wise tortoise from Kung Fu Panda, also said, "Your mind is like this water, my friend. When it is agitated, it becomes difficult to see. But if you allow it to settle, the answer becomes clear. Our being, whether physical or mental, should flow like a calm stream." If Confucius teaches people to become tough like a rock, Taoism teaches us to be soft like water. After all, water cannot break under pressure. Instead, it becomes one with its surroundings, easily taking the shape of a glass or moving with the rhythm of the ocean. Similarly, you can use the body to train the mind to flow and become one with nature once you discover your qi. And you don't need a black belt to summon the energy of the universe. On the contrary, Slow movements and focusing on your breathing 5 to 10 minutes a day can help your body and mind flow with the ups and downs of life. So go ahead and look for easy Tai Chi, yoga, meditation, or Qigong tutorials on YouTube today. Number 3. Redefine Success. Do you recognize this symbol that is often featured in tattoos and temples? The symbol of the yin and yang is one of the most easily identifiable Taoist motifs. Contrary to popular belief, the yin and yang do not represent that there is evil and good or good and evil. In fact, Taoism believes that there is no good or evil in the elements surrounding us. It is only our perspective that gives a positive or negative connotation to a thing, emotion, or circumstance. For instance, what are your first thoughts when you see a knife? Some might relate a knife to violence, as it can be used as a weapon. At the same time, a knife is used in cooking and can symbolize domestic bliss. And just as a knife has a sharp and blunt side, what may seem like opposing elements is, in fact, two sides of the same coin. Similarly, success or failure may not always mean what you think they mean, so don't get thrown off by setbacks in life. Once you understand this truth, you can maintain your equanimity at all times. Number 4. Unlearn and Learn. In its essence, Taoism is the art of not trying. Then, practicing Taoism is a paradox, as it requires some effort. But as Taoism teaches us, there are no opposites, but rather two sides of the same coin. Similarly, you must unlearn what you know to learn the truth about the universe. And while the answer lies within you, you can always take help from other resources to guide you in the journey. Fortunately, you don't have to go through wordy and complicated journals and ancient texts to know more about Taoism. In fact, Laozi would recommend that you switch those unnecessarily complicated texts for our fun and easy to understand YouTube videos. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button for more entertaining and enlightening content.